It's been a year since Birds of Prey hit theaters, which leaves a lot of fans asking the question, just WTF is going on with Birds of Prey 2? Is it canceled? Is it gonna happen? Well, I'm gonna talk about that and break it all down for you here today on $3 Theater. Like I said, it's been just around a year since Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. Try saying that 5 times fast. You can't do it. It's terrible. That's why Warner Brothers had to change the name to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey in hopes of bringing people in to the theaters. In fact, it didn't do as well as it could have done, especially with the pricey $82 million price tag. But of course, it did okay with Rotten Tomatoes. It has a 78% certified fresh based off of 419 reviews and 78% verified audience score, which means that it was purchased via Fandango. So people out there did seem to like the movie, and breaking it down, we can see here that it did pull in a worldwide box office total of $201,858,461, as well as $30,202,675 in estimated domestic video sales. That has nothing to do with VOD that came out just after the film's release, as well as international sales. But looking here at the first week of Fandango's list of the top 10 VOD purchases in March 31st, 2020, we can see that Birds of Prey came in under Bloodshot. And that's why the title of the article was Bloodshot Beat Birds of Prey in VOD Sales, and you all should be ashamed. Well, I mean, Sony isn't, because they actually decided about a couple months ago to greenlight Bloodshot 2, and that has everybody out there pretty shocked, to be honest with you. But not only did they have to deal with this particular problem, there's been a massive upset within the DCEU and its fan base as a whole. We can see here that Kathy Yan suggested that Warner Brothers actually messed with Birds of Prey because David Ayer was talking about what happened with the Ayer cut, the original cut of Suicide Squad back in 2016. And she says, "I'm sorry this happened to you, David. I know the pain." Now, the difference between Kathy Yan saying this and David Ayer saying this is that there's been no worldwide movement for the David Ayer Suicide Squad cut. People aren't clamoring for a Birds of Prey extended edition or another edition of that movie. But hey, if a better one exists, all things considered, I would be very, very glad to see what happens next. So then the question becomes, what's going on with the potential sequel? $82 million budget, $230 million in worldwide ticket sales, as well as home video sales, and never mind VOD sales and international sales. It must have been enough to make Harley Quinn profitable for another outing. Well, in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Margot Robbie was actually asked about this in a little offshoot section, a very, very tiny bit of the interview, where it was asked, will there be a Birds of Prey sequel? Now, she says, I don't know. Nothing imminent at this stage, nothing worth mentioning. So what does that mean? Does it mean that it's dead? Does it mean that it's gone? Does it mean that we'll never see Harley Quinn again in her own standalone movie? Well, this isn't the first time that this particular proclamation has been made. Giant Freaking Robot posted this exclusive back in July of last year, saying Birds of Prey 2 is now dead at Warner Brothers, claiming that their exclusive was confirmed and that Grace Randolph also backed up this particular claim. Now, I'm not one to always give Grace Randolph the benefit of the doubt on everything that she says. However, her DC stuff does seem to be relatively accurate, at least in regards to the Snyder Cut. So anything is really possible. So whether or not we're going to be going back into this world, it could be there, it could not be there. I mean, listen, we're only a couple weeks away from the release of the Snyder Cut. So quite frankly, never say never when it comes to Hollywood, right, guys? You can never say never. But let's talk about why I think this is being delayed. It has everything to do with the partnership between Margot Robbie and Christina Hudson, the writer. Now, if you don't know who Christina Hudson is, that's okay. I'll fill you in. She's actually going to be the writer of, she wrote Birds of Prey, and she's actually writing the upcoming Flash. and she's writing the upcoming Batgirl. So when it comes to her commitments over at DC, she's pretty locked down. And since her and Margot Robbie have teamed up in order to reboot the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise together, her dance card is pretty full, and they may not want to move forward without her commitment to writing the screenplay. Considering that I think she's a terrible writer, I think this is a bad idea. But there's another factor involved with this that I think is worth discussing. And that, of course, is going to be The Suicide Squad, which comes out later this year to HBOMax. When this big budget R-rated extravaganza hits the unfortunate small screen, we're going to get a whole wide variety of new DCEU villains. But really, what it's going to boil down to, I think, is for Birds of Prey 2 is whether or not Harley Quinn is as well received as she was with Suicide Squad. I mean, her popularity on that movie is what prompted her to get her own sequel film earlier, or a year ago. So that's really what it boils down to at this point. Is she going to get a sequel? The likelihood of it happening is, yeah, pretty high. Margot Robbie has a good relationship with Warner Brothers. She's got a good relationship with her producing partner, Christina Hudson, who's also the writer. And she loves the character, and fans love her in the role. So look, there's a lot that's probably going to take place between now and when we get a green light on Birds of Prey 2. Is it going to be called Birds of Prey 2? I don't know. It might just be Harley Quinn 2. They might just continue the Harley Quinn name and bring the Birds of Prey in, but not make them central to the titling, which was ultimately confusing when the movie first came out a year ago. So that's one of the problems we're currently dealing with here. But as always, I want to hear your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, good, bad, or the other. I want you to tell me what you're thinking, because otherwise, I don't know what kind of content to make. You guys tell me. And also, if you like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. Thank you for watching, and peace out.